So now we sit and wait, hopefully no more than 90 days to go for that hearing, and hopefully she comes home.
Savannah Chrisley is sharing a new update on Julie's release. On July 2nd, the 26-year-old takes to her Unlocked podcast to give her fans an update on her mom's vacated 7-year prison sentence for tax evasion and bank fraud, and that she's, quote, hopeful her mom will return home soon following a court-ordered resentence.
So now we sit and wait, hopefully no more than 90 days to go for that hearing, and hopefully she comes home, because the government said they could the appeals court said they could not find the evidence used to convict mom. And so mom will go get resentenced. Hopefully she comes home. If she comes home, oh my gosh, life will be so much better.
On June 21st, a 3-judge panel of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the convictions of Julie's husband, Todd Chrisley, who was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and their accountant, Peter Tarantino. However, the panel found that the original trial judge had miscalculated Julie's sentence in 2022. The judge's ruling, obtained by People magazine, indicated that while Julie was held responsible for the entire bank fraud scheme that began in 2006, there was insufficient evidence to prove her involvement prior to 2007. The panel noted that neither the prosecutors nor the trial judge provided any specific evidence showing her involvement in 2006. Savannah goes on to mention how her goal is to have her mom home by Thanksgiving, which would allow her to have time to, quote, focus on all of Dad's stuff.
And then I'll have time to truly focus on all of Dad's stuff. This really wasn't, people view it as a loss for Dad, but in the grand scheme of things, when you read through it, the appeals court gave us a very solid case for ineffective counsel by saying trial lawyers should have done X, Y, and Z. They should have objected. They should have filed the motion timely. For some reason, they decided to file it 2 years past the deadline. So none of that really makes sense to me, especially when you spend an absolute fortune, I want to say around probably $5 million on a legal defense at trial, and this is where it gets you. So that will be huge because we could be granted a new trial potentially.
Savannah also shares how the family is doing amid all the ongoing news. Reflecting on a therapy session she had with Chloe, the niece of Todd and Julie, who are now the guardians of the 11-year-old, the 26-year-old mentions that Chloe had, quote, tears well up in her eyes hearing about Julie potentially returning home, but nothing new happening for Todd.
I spoke to her therapist, and then Chloe came in and we sat down, and her therapist asked, like, hey, do you think your outburst today maybe had something to do with things that you've heard? And she asked Chloe, like, have you heard things? And Chloe goes, yeah. And we asked her about what, and she said, well, Mom and Dad. And it was so heartbreaking to sit there and watch her face as I tell her that there's a chance Mom could come home. Like this, we had to do the appeal. There's a chance she could come home, but for Dad, nothing's happening for him right now. And to see, she kind of had like tears well up in her eyes. And it was literally, I'm like sitting there wiping tears from my face. And just watching how much hurt and disappointment that kids have to go through at such a young age, it breaks my heart.